Welcome in, everyone, to the Challenge After Show. Today, Jenna, Pamela, and I are talking about the Challenge Ride or Dies. Episode 9? Split decision? Yeah. I think we're on 9 already.
Episode 8. Oops.
Is it episode 8?
It's 9. I saw it like 12 times.
Okay, because that means if we are at the mid-season whatever, there's 18 episodes, probably plus a reunion. So solid 20 like they always do to us. That reunion could be a two-parter. Who the hell knows? They really upped it from back in the day when it used to be 12 or 13 episodes max.
It's going to be a 3-part reunion, and we have to wait until the halfway point of the third part of the reunion to figure out who won.
Something like that. Yeah. Well, ladies, I'm going to be the first to say it, even though Jenna already said it basically in the pre-show. My favorite episode of the season so far, by far, right here. Even the Jordan drama from the beginning when he came in, that's probably a close second. But we finally get some in-person talking, unlike episode 8, which we had just talked about and blabbed on and on about, how it was all confessional-based. We got some real emotions going on here, and I appreciated it. Ladies, tell me what you think of the episode, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pam.
I think, again, we got a taste. The first taste is free. The next time you have to pay. Again, I was thinking recently about how relationship-driven our old beloved shows. That's all it was. Like, the challenges were a backdrop to this show about people and their feelings and their relationships.
Yes, you're so right.
And that's what it was all about. It's like these fights and these loving, and this was like a little snippet of, again, not to shit on it because I did enjoy it, but with Aneesa, it's like, we've been flirting, we've been getting together, we've been cuddling. Like, where was that? When did we see that? We don't see anything. We see her mention that he's cute in the last episode, not this sort of developing crush, and then
rush of feelings.
Rush, crush, the whole thing, and then we get them cuddling, and I think that
more than cuddling. I think there was a little straddle session.
There was definitely some kissing as well. And Pamela, I agree with you. Yeah, but at least this is better than nothing, right? Isn't it sad that this is what we like? Thank God this happened, even though it's like obviously not as good as it used to be, but it's something.
Yeah, I wish that there was any building of any of this put into every other episode, even a little bit. Even a eye roll, even I see that happening, even that's coming, or people talking about it. Same with Johnny and Mariah. Apparently, just she's his girlfriend because she kissed him at his birthday and lit a candle. And
wait, that's not Johnny. Wait, I thought that was Johnny Banana's daughter. That's not his daughter.
No.
Oh, I thought. I'm so sorry. That's my bad.
No, I thought he was her masseuse.
Nope. Girlfriend, boyfriend.
The foot massage situation.
She needs him on her team. It's like, obviously these things are happening. People in the show are reacting in a way that I wish I was reacting that way. Like when Fessy picked bananas and Tori sort of gasps like, whoa, that's fucked up. What? You don't see it as fucked up.
I was happy she did that, but we'll talk about that later. But
yeah, so whereas I'm excited, I feel like now we're just happy for the breadcrumbs. Like where we used to just get a whole juicy sandwich. Now it's like, oh, we got some breadcrumbs. Yay.
That is so funny you say that, because now that you're saying it, I feel like maybe this episode gaslit me a little bit, right? I loved this episode so much, but it's only because the one prior was so bad and giving us any worth watching vignettes, anything that made us feel connected to these people or wanting to watch this game and watch people live in this house. I also love that you said that the challenge used to just be a backdrop for reality TV drama, because I always love the challenges, and I love obviously talking about them with like my family. You guys hear that a lot. And my husband who watches, I'm like, oh, this is a really good challenge. He's always like, I don't care about the challenge. Who cares about the challenge? I just want to see the drama. So I feel like that is why so many people show up. And this episode, what I liked about it is that it did feel well-rounded enough in the vignettes. Like, we did see a Bananas and Mariah. We saw Bananas and Nani talking. We saw Nelson and Mariah talking. Tori and Devin, Tori and Jordan, Aneesa and Jordan. Like, we got a lot of storylines, which we've all been so intrigued in seeing those because they're not showing any. But now that I think about it, it did feel like a catch-up episode, you know, like, oh, by the way, okay, now let's show them like all the social things that have been happening because we didn't do it last time.
Right.
It was one of those mid-season recap. Oh, in case you missed it, which you probably did. Mariah and Bananas, they are clearly something, but we never, the thing that sucks about that is like, what happened to like the party scenes where we see them talk for the first time and start to show interest in each other? Like, we want that stuff.
Right. We want an awkward flirt. We want a like.
I don't care. I don't even know if we don't even know if it was awkward. I just want to know what it was. Like, how did the flirting start and how did it progress to like casually kissing and hugging in what was caught from one of those high-end ceiling cameras? Like, what is going on here?
Green light, the like night cams that they used to have with translation.
I wish they showed it. Like, how did Mariah? We don't know how Mariah and Bananas became what they are in episode 9 at all.
I love Mariah because I find her so funny in her confessionals, and when she speaks, I feel like I can tell she's feeling awkward because she is not somebody who has been on reality TV or has done these sort of confessional interviews before. So she's always just like, "So I did this." And I can tell that, like, she's probably feeling so awkward getting asked questions and the hot lights are on her. Meanwhile, you have a Jordan who is like so theatrical in everything he's saying. And I'm just like, all right, this guy, he's been on TV. Yep. He's definitely, this is his living for the past decade.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love this episode. And I was thinking from a production standpoint, typically like a different post producer or story producer gets an episode to lay everything out to really kind of navigate the storytelling. And I was like, shout out this story producer because I really enjoyed this one. They had funny moments. They gave us all the social interactions and I loved the challenge of the day. I thought that the game was great too.
Yeah. And notice they did, it wasn't a typical episode. They mixed it up. I mean, this was all about the big twist and how that twist, they went to the zone, but not to do anything, but to pick the teams and to give you more drama instead of having it to be so competition and strategy based. They gave us are they realizing like, did they spike in viewership last night and realize, oh, this stuff also works. We don't need to keep it all about strategy and who's working with who. We can go off another angle, down a different path, and still give them entertaining content. I hope they realize that they can do this.
I think they obviously just watched her show. I mean,
Yep.
They heard us complain about episode 8. They had nothing edited for 9 yet, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll just give them
exactly."
Imagine us and all of like the review shows and the YouTube shows and podcasts were just a part of their like Monday morning meeting. They just all day on work on Monday, they just pulled down the projector. What am I fucking 90? Or they just projector. Like the thing, the screen, to get the film roll.
Right.
No, whatever. They screen share it. They Chromecast it to the TV, and
I thought they got a fresh box of chalk out. They're writing on the old green, not even a blackboard, but we had a green board growing up where I went to school. It wasn't a black, it was a green chalkboard, and they wrote on that bad boy with some white chalk. That's how I learned growing up.
What do they do today? Just like dry erase boards?
I think it's dry erase, and also these they just have the screen of the computer going on, and they can write onto the.
Yeah.
Kids today. These kids today, they don't know about clapping erasers.
Clapping erasers when you got in trouble in school, that go out back. It wasn't even like a thing. It was like, you didn't even have to get in trouble to do that. You just wanted to get out of the classroom. Right. I'll go clap the erasers. I'll go outside, get some fresh air. Yeah.
Yeah. I did think it was interesting. We got the emotional, intimate scene between Fessy and Mariah where he's kind of crying to her. And it got me thinking, how are these two really ride or dies again? I always just took it at face value and was like, okay, they must be like best friends from childhood or something. So I looked it up.
I think they hooked up one time and then became friends.
No, I have no idea. And I also like, maybe they came from the same, like, because he's.
Well, she's an influencer out of Florida. I believe he lives in Florida. So
I'm pretty sure they church together all their lives.
They hooked up in Florida.
I'm like, they're in the same community, like they're childhood friends. Again, I went with Jenna.
Like, they must be like childhood friends or friends
really close,
or cousins or family friends. Said she's
just hooked up once because she's an influencer.
Influencer from Orlando, Florida.
I mean, if you look up her profile online, I pulled up her profile because I was trying to see how old she was to see the discrepancy in age between her and Bananas, and it comes up like this. It says, Mariah is a 26-year-old influencer from Florida. She is a reality TV rookie. Her ride or die is Fasel Shavat. That's all it says about her.
It's basically they went on a few dates and decided
it's that. If that, like,
If that. They hooked up.
Is probably right.
And decided they were just going to be friends. So,
or like the producer said, "This is your ride or die," and they met and maybe made out, and then now they're ride or dies. Because she's like, he feels like home to me, and it's like, well, is he? Are they? That for me, I'm like, oh, he's home. Like they grew up together. They're close.
I mean, I agree with you. And we always say when people get so upset and heartbroken by these friendships and relationships that they've just made in 3 weeks, it's always like eye roll. However, I do feel like friendships can be made fairly quickly. And if your partner's working together and she's on her first reality TV show, I can understand where she's coming from, where she's basically just saying he's her sense of comfort in this house, you know?
I 100% agree and feel she's not crying and saying he betrayed me and we're best friends. No, I think she is 100 when we get to that. I'm like, I'll fully on her side and back to being like, this man is an asshole.
Yes,
once again, this guy is an asshole. He doesn't, you know, she's like, people said you couldn't trust him and he just wants to win, and I didn't buy it. But I mean, he's improved in that he was nicer to his partner this time, but he's still an asshole who looks out for himself above all others. I still am furious that Nelson saved him. I would have loved for him to have gone home last week. I mean, I really would have loved that.
Yeah. I mean,
I want to say one thing a little off topic, but speaking of all of Fessy's friends, Casey tonight, did you hear what she said in the vignettes?
No, but I wanted to bring up Casey because we see a whole lot of Casey this episode. We see a whole lot.
But do you hear? But okay, agreed.
Oh, about her brother. About her brother.
She writes, Casey actually, I wrote down, Casey actually said she forgets her brother is here. She says that line, and then I wrote down, Casey, we all forget your brother is here. You too. Like, I can't believe she said the line though. I walk around the house and say, "Oh, there's my brother. I can't believe he's here." Yeah. My God, that's insanity. That's just such great. Oh, it's perfect for my point.
So it was like, yay, Casey, look, you're funny and adorable.
Oh, I don't think she was trying to be funny though. I think she really forgets he's there.
Yep. Like, that's what I'm getting.
Nani saying, "Oh, I feel like I haven't been social at all." Now I'm like, okay, now the picture is being painted. I think Nani and Casey are like nesting in a room, and Nani like comes out when they knock on the door and make her sit next to Bananas and talk for 3 seconds, and then goes back into that room with Casey.
Something like that.
Kenny's in an adjoining room, and they won't let him out. They just pass him food under the door. Yeah, like he's nothing, but I think that's it. Like there's nothing going on. These are like a couple in their 40s. That are like,
so yeah, even when they try to integrate Casey into the episode tonight, but like it wasn't anything like, oh man, thank God they put her in there. She had some great pointers. She said some cool stuff. No, she didn't do anything with her. I mean, it was just.
It would be funny if she knew, Jenna, like you're saying, but I don't think she does. It's like talk, and she's like, God, I don't know. I've been partnered with my brother. I forget he's here. You forget he's here. Like she's not that self-aware. Like you forget he's here. I forget he's here. We all forget he's here.
I just love that she said
our point. That is why I know the producers pull us up in the film roll every Monday morning to watch us, because we always talk about how Casey and Kenny are the wallflowers. Wallflowers. This is really
the waffles. They're the waffles.
I don't know what just happened. That was very embarrassing.
We're all just so giddy over this episode we can barely speak. Yeah.
We are. I don't know. Must be something.
Ladies, are there any other vignettes that you want to speak about? I wrote down that Fessy gets messy into Mariah's shirt when he's crying. I wrote that down.
Oh yeah.
There is the Tori and Jordan wrestling, but I'm like, do we save that for like the second half when we really, because we're gonna do a deep dive into Tori and Jordan later. They show them wrestling. They set that up very nicely, that there's obviously something going on, and then that actually transitions into the fact that Aneesa and Jordan are they're the only ones in one bedroom, so they're and he's supposedly, when she went back to that room, he was in her bed already.
Yeah.
And then they start doing a little kissing, like you said.
Aneesa and Jordan to me would have been incredibly shocking if it wasn't alluded to by fans and spoilers. And I think we talked about that here.
Oh,
yeah, we did. It was mentioned before we saw anything. The first we saw of them really was the dancing. However, my sister a couple weeks ago, I don't know if she heard it just somewhere as well, or if she saw it on the show, but she said, "Oh, Aneesa likes Jordan." I'm like, well, where are you getting this from? What show are we watching? So I don't know.
My friend told me that too. So all three of us do a pretty good job of not relying on social media or looking at spoilers. Like if I watch the episode, I never go on Twitter or Reddit until after we all talk, because I don't want to give a secondhand take. I don't want anything I say to be somebody else's like watered down version, or I don't want my view to change because somebody else came in with like receipts or all this or that and has a really like well articulated view on it. I just want to talk about what I saw and how I thought about it. So I was pretty annoyed that it kind of got spoiled for me. I think it was my friend mentioned it. I think we may have talked about it.
I didn't know. You guys hit it for me because
we did. Okay.
You guys alluded to that something's going to come up to disrupt the, Jordan and Tori are not going to be together, but I didn't.
But I mean, after last week's episode, Pamela, you must have known something was up.
Last week she mentioned last week. Yeah. Last week was when the news was broke to me.
Yeah.
I really like Nurys though, so under different circumstances, I would be into this. You don't like Nurys? I love Nurys. Oh, I like her a lot too. I really like Nurys. So like, Tori's my. I feel like she's like really is just like a genuine person, but she just has a crush on a guy, but it always seems to be a guy that's already with someone else, and she's gonna get in trouble for it. I mean, you saw it on
that's the thing, where the lines get really blurry of everybody's participation in this. I mean, it's obviously always the person who's attached to the person who's being hurt. It's always their fault. Like if a husband cheats on their wife, it's his fault. Right, not the other woman's. However, yes, correct. However, if you're living in a house with the other woman, yes, that's what I'm saying. Like if the other woman is like a coworker who knows you're married with kids, who sees your wife at every holiday party, like you're kind of fucked up too. Although they are single. Jordan and Tori are not in a relationship. That's true. I don't think there's any. We're going to get into it. There's a lot Sorry, Pamela. Okay, sorry. This goes back to our conversation about some stupid couple. Oh, I think Victoria and Johnny and Greg Grippo. This goes back to Bachelor in Paradise, Jenna. She's going Bachelor in Paradise right now. Wait, guys, I have to let you know something though. Yeah. Greg Grippo was from a few towns over from me. He played baseball with my cousin. Get that inside scoop, Jenna, because he is part of a major Batch Nation. Baseball with my cousin. Well, ladies, I wasn't able to get Greg on the show today, but I was able to get someone to join us on the show today. And it's the holiday spirit, so I figured I'd let them in right now. Here they come. Oh. Hello, wait, I didn't get to make my point. It was that I like Nurys, Tori, and Jordan. He's still loading in, so there you go. Okay, well, that's my point, is that it's unfortunate, but I like all three of those people, and it's a messy situation, blah, 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 but I'm not mad at anyone. It's just inconvenient. Well, I like them all. I'm not mad, but I am a little bit. Well, that was it. We just got his picture. That ruined my surprise of not being able to load in properly. Here, he's trying again. I honestly am mad at Jordan, and we'll discuss why. If he's single, he's single, but we'll discuss why. Benny! What's up? The band's back together. Excuse me while I fix my camera. Yeah. I kept it a secret from them, Benny. I didn't want them to know you were the big surprise today. They probably thought I was like CT or something. I just told them. They're like, oh, this is Benny's mom. I thought it was going to be Dan's sister. Oh, did you? Well, it's halfway through the season, so I figured we need to bring in our resident expert on the challenge, Benny, who we used to work with at AfterBuzz. And we need to get his opinions. You're such a good producer. You're such a good producer with that halfway twist. Right. Oh, well, thank you, ladies. So Benny, we really quick before we get into we're getting into the daily challenge basically at this point in the after show. But give us your overall thoughts real briefly of the entire season and then of this particular episode 9 as well. Okay, so I was talking to you about this like a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And like it's just this season feels different. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing. It's just something is different about this season and I don't know what it is. And it's like we've had newcomers come on, we've had rookies come on, we've had a lot of the same faces come on. So I don't know what's so different, but it's just the vibe is just different. I can't put my finger on it. And again, it's not a bad thing whatsoever. It's something different. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm always the type of guy that I like a good amount of drama with a good amount of, challenges, physical activity, whatever. So, but yeah, overall, it's good. It's good. Yeah. Do you think it's because this is what it feels like to me, there's less veteran presence? Like, even though Bananas is there and Nani is there, I feel like they're almost taking it as a joke. Like, I know Nani came in hot and heavy. She wants to play for her mom, so that's different. But Bananas, he's not performing to Bananas level in competition in the challenge.
And even in competitions also, like even just socially, Bananas has always been the guy that stirs the pot. He's just like laying back, not doing anything. And that's what I was expecting when Bananas was back on the show. I thought he was like gonna like start some drama, like get people to like get upset at each other. But like he's not doing that. So I don't know like if he's just like, he's grown and matured from that.
Yeah.
I think the way that this initial show set up, he doesn't have to right now, because getting last place doesn't matter anymore. He doesn't have to win every challenge to make it to the next level. He realizes, as long as I just fly under the radar, I can go pretty far in this particular game, the way that these rules for this season are set up as well.
And then has mentioned that they're flying under the radar. It's just he himself was saying to Nani, like, I don't know how, but we have managed to fly under the radar, which is unusual for him for sure, but it's working. Yeah, he doesn't have to politics hard.
They've managed to fly under the radar because this has turned into, and don't get me wrong, I love the challenge, I always love the challenge, but this has turned into a friends game, because the people they get brought back season after season after season, whereas, in the 2010s and before, it was different. You would see different faces, each season, but we're seeing like the same faces, and so these people, like, they grow a bond after each season, and so they become close friends. So that's kind of why they're still safe, because one, he's partnered with Nani, and then two, Bananas, he's well respected in the game. He's one of the longest people who's participated in the game.
Yeah, there's not enough of the other heavy hitter vets there. Like, Jordan is obviously there, but Devin, no offense, Devin, like, you're not on their tier. You're not the West. You're not a CT, obviously. You're not of that category of other vets that are there. So I feel like Bananas, to your point, Benny's probably just held really highly from all of the younger players in the game. So they're not really trying to touch him. So he's not trying to stir the pot. I mean, it's a great peaceful environment, but it's not good for us who want to watch TV.
Yeah, who are the real enemies anymore? Remember, there used to be Bananas versus Wes, Jordan versus whoever. Like, everyone used to be always really wanting to get other people out. Now they're just rivalries. No good rivalries this season, really. I mean, Bananas and Devin, who used to be somewhat rivals, they're sharing a bedroom this season. They go to bed reading books together at night. Who the hell knows what they're doing?
I was saying, like, Laurel and
Michelle.
Yeah,
one-sided rivalry.
That could have been if she didn't like get voted out, but that could have been a rivalry. Yeah.
It could have been if Laurel was involved in it, in the rivalry, but Laurel didn't know that they were in a rivalry until Michelle.
Well, there's that as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the challenge of the day here. It is called, oh my goodness, what was it called? Something and something, All or Nothing, and it's the mid-season. It's the mini final, as they call it. We've called it the mini. I feel like we called it a mini final before it's been mentioned.
They're listening to us.
Isn't that weird? I feel like Benny, they're definitely listening to us, right? I mean, you interview all the stars of the show. They watch this podcast and bring it to production. Yeah.
They hit me up and they say, you know what? We heard you guys say it, so we're gonna call it like that. Don't say anything.
But I really enjoyed it. I think we all enjoyed this 3 checkpoint final. A lot of the little mini games are really fun to watch. There was entertaining moments. There was fun. I mean, they showed a zoom out. This is the only thing I'll say, and I'll let everyone else talk. They showed a zoom out image of the barrel area, and I said, who the hell is this pink team with the barrels flipped the other way? And it was Nani and Bananas trying to roll their way across the whole field. But the first shot they showed was the bird's eye view. And I'm laughing my ass off. Like, who thought that was a good idea? And then when they zoomed in, I'm like, Bananas and Nani, that's hilarious. That
was really funny.
So,
that was the most ridiculous strategy. That's when I was thinking, I even turned to my husband. I love that I have to take you guys like in the room with me whenever I watch. I'm watching with my mom. She's to my right. She's laughing.
Paint us a picture.
And I was like, he is so much smarter than this. He is always the most ingenuitive player. He's always he finds a way. Like, he always has the best strategy and thought and intention behind it. He's never someone to come up with a dumbass idea and be like, oops, trial and error, that didn't work. He has played this game probably more years that he's been on this earth than he hasn't, you know, at this point. Like, it is truly half of his lifetime that he's been on this show, or more than half, to go with
more, honestly.
More than half, yeah. So I'm like, he's blowing this again. Like, he doesn't want to win, because there's no way he would come up with this janky ass way to get to the checkpoint.
Well, what about a checkpoint 2 where he basically gives up and lies down on the sled and just watches casually? He's got one of the weights as a pillow, and he's just watching it.
I swear we're trying. It's like,
yes, that's what got me when at the end Nani's was like, I swear we're trying, guys. It's kind of like
it
you
is,
guys said,
Benny.
it's kind of like it's a joke a little bit.
And notice, Benny, none of them had a finish. Once the first place players, Fessy and Mariah, went across the finish line, no one else had to. No one else continued to go, because he realized it doesn't matter anywhere. If you want to, but if you're afraid of going into the zone, if you get last place, then that's everyone's asses are going to be moving, and they actually would try to finish that way. Nani and Bananas, they'd be going to the zone tonight in theory, right? They were there. They didn't even. But no, we don't have to. Bananas has no initiative, no whatever you want to call it, to actually try. It doesn't matter. It kind of sucks.
A huge dropped ball this season. Like, we've said that they've needed to do that for years, but especially on this one, it feels like people truly are not trying if they don't have to.
Well, and the only people who are after Bananas are the rookies, or the people who have only played for like 1 or 2 seasons, like Amber, you know, and they don't really have that much experience. Like Amber, she's good, but the vets, you know,
Amber and Chauncey haven't really
with Bananas.
They haven't really performed well all season. They've kind of just been middle of the pack. They haven't really ever had one daily where like, oh my God, Chauncey and Amber might win this one. Like, they haven't really done anything this season.
Yeah, so. I wonder why that is, because they have all the makings for a really strong team. Like, Amber has incredible endurance. Chauncey is super strong. He looks like he's in shape. I would think his endurance is good. I don't know. Is it the puzzles and more of like the mental skill games that maybe they're lacking?
I don't know. I have no idea. Because even in the strength stuff, like even in the barrel thing today, Amber and Chauncey, I was watching like, oh, they're just kind of moseying. They're not like getting ahead. He's so strong. I think he whipped these barrels around.
Yeah. They've been middle of the road. And I think also that Amber, if she had a beef, it would be more with a Fessy than a Bananas. Like, I don't think if she was going to be gunning for someone, I don't think they're of sort of different worlds to some extent.
I got a beef with what Amber called the barrel thing tonight. She called it hot lava. In my head, I'm like, it's called the floor is lava. No one called it hot lava growing up.
I called it hot lava, and I was like, oh, I like that.
Where did you grow up?
I never even played that when I was a kid.
Did Amber grow up on the East Coast too?
Yes.
Don't come at my Jersey girl like that, okay?
Yeah.
I'm asking where Amber grew up, because if she grew up next door to you, then maybe both of you call the ones that call it hot lava.
I'm gonna say Amber's East Coast.
What is lava? It ain't cold.
Sorry. Amber's got a little southern. Amber has a slight, like, and I'm not in that, like a little southern. I'm giving her North.
She does sound like a southern pageant girl. She does have a little bit of that.
I'm gonna look it up.
Look it up, please. Where she's from. I don't know. I always called it the floor is lava, so I know
nothing about that game.
Floor is lava. It's like a sentence, not a title, Dan. That's too many words.
The floor is lava was the best game ever. You throw the couch cushions around the house and try not to touch the rug or the floor.
The floor is lava, semicolon, try not to step on the
well, then you're really writing a book about it. Yeah.
This challenge was really good, though. I think it was a really good test for some teams. And there's also the self-awareness. You know, you could call out who you think is probably going to be lacking based on their endurance, but she does it for you. Aneesa is like, okay, it's no secret. We all know I'm not the fastest here. So her and Jordan are just like tiptoeing along. And I enjoyed that every time when Jordan is like a full mile behind everyone, he's like, get ready. I'm on
we're gonna get you. Yes, Jordan is, I really like that instead of being crazy and yelling and wanting to win, he's embraced the like, don't fuck with me. Yeah,
he almost got mad at her.
Good humor.
He almost got mad at her the episode before when they were trying to run back and forth to solve that pyramid puzzle thing where they had to they had to balance on the beam or the little stick.
I've so already forgotten.
Anyway, I know, but you know, what stinks is I wish that more people had to attempt or got to attempt the tire thing. I think there would be a lot of humor and people trying to get these tires over. I mean, Aneesa in general trying to climb over that thing would have been fun. So like, I don't know. It's a lot of missed opportunities. I'm just saying, I would have enjoyed trying.
Yeah. Amber B is from Knoxville, Tennessee.
We were correct.
Nice.
Nice job, that she's from the South.
Yep.
I do have to give props to Fessy. I was very impressed that he was able to identify all the regions from south to north is what he had to do with the tires.
Because he hooked up because all the girls, he's like, I know I hooked up with a girl and I looked up her country and it was this way. So because
Pamela, I know you don't like Fessy, but that was funny.
Oh, it was so funny. No, it's funny. And it was funny, Devin realizing he's like, oh, he did do it. Okay. Because I was with Devin. He's like, there's no way Fessy like did this geography thing. And then he's like, oh, all right, they did. Like
what I liked about the Devin thing was they totally cut the music and it's just him standing. There's no music at all. It's just the natural world. And they let that ride for like 20 seconds of Devin trying to figure out what the hell happened. He's like, oh, we don't have to continue because it's already like he's already done. Like, and there's no music behind it. Really, really funny
disbelief.
stuff.
If Fessy can be like a puzzle master, that mixed with, you know, his physical attributes, like he's a beast in this game. So if he can continue with that, he could definitely win. And if it's not like partnered up, I can see him winning the final.
He's always done well. He's made it to multiple finals now, hasn't he? He just like placed 4th or 5th. And then one season, I forget if he made it or not. But either way, it's not like he's not like he's good at the game. He's a big dude. Who's gonna want to? No one wants to go on him in elimination, so that deters people from.
Has made every final except for one.
Season 1.
So
I remember 2 finals.
What do you guys think? I have a question for you guys. Is going to happen now? Because now there's teams. And it's the midway point. Do you think it's going to play out as teams until the end? Like,
I have even a bigger question. Do we even like this twist?
I don't understand it. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen.
They're all playing like, oh, well, we're still going to try to work with our ride or dies, even though literally our ride or dies. So that's the twist they're going for here. But if it's called ride or dies, I really felt like they should have kept it ride or dies the entire season. However, also, Benny, I think to your point, like, what is this season? Like, you're like, I don't know if I'm liking it or not. And I think producers like, do we like what we're editing together? Let's like, I don't know if they like it. Like, so like, they're like, let's mix this whole thing up, do something different. I don't know.
I mean, that seems to be the trend, right? Like Big Brother kind of did that when they split the house in 2. The challenge has always had to have some sort of huge twist that shakes up the game. So it is.
Survivor does that sometimes.
Oh, Survivor does? Okay. Yeah, the thing is, I'm intrigued. You know, I definitely don't dislike the twist at this point because I'm very interested to see what happens with the teams because on the surface, I guess Fessy's does look a little bit more intimidating and that's what everybody is saying. They're like, oh shit, that team is stacked. But you never know because there's a lot of egos on that team. There's a lot of loud voices and leadership. That was somebody else's point. So, and you kind of want to root for the underdog. So at this point, I'm very interested in the twist.
Oh, yeah.
They should have. I'm surprised that Devin was last because, in my opinion, this season, Devin has actually been doing really well.
Yeah.
Like compared to prior seasons. So I was kind of surprised that they didn't. He wasn't, you know, one of the first to get picked because not only has he, you know, he's starting to prove himself as, you know, someone who can do well in challenges, but we already know he's well at puzzles. So he's starting to become a well-rounded person. So why not have that on your team?
I think it was
Tori,
also
I think it's the best girl. So that whole team being last was a weird.
Well, I'm confused. I was confused by the order that they picked people in as well. Like at first they start off, they say, Fessy, you get first pick because you won the coin toss. You need to pick a girl. Like TJ tells him he has to pick a girl. He picks Casey.
Because he's a guy, yeah.
Right, but then eventually, I swear, Fessy picked 2 dudes in a row.
Yeah, I thought that also.
Thank you, Ben. He goes from.
You're right. He did. He Bananas. Nelson.
He gets Bananas, then Chauncey, and then Nelson somehow. But she picked Amber, so I'm just confused. I didn't understand the order. I wrote down like he picked 2 dudes in a row. He should have had to pick a girl that second time. I don't get it, but whatever. I thought that his team got more stacked because of that.
I agree. It was strange the way the order cut down.
Well, it's definitely difficult to pick the team because your offensive move of picking somebody also has to be like a defensive move of making sure that you're not now going against another powerhouse. So you kind of want to pick someone who's strong and then hopefully they're partnered with a weak person. But I mean, outside of like I don't know, who would that team really be besides like Casey and Kenny? Our
Right.
go-to example.
I mean, I think
Jordan
if it's
not that she's weak.
Oh, Jordan and Aneesa.
Jordan and Aneesa, if it's going to come down to running, and you have to stay as a team the entire time, which we've seen in finals before, the entire team must cross the finish line.
Yeah.
That team with Aneesa, that's why I like the underdog team with Jordan on it and Devin on it and all the other people minus Kenny. I love that team. I love the underdog vibe of it.
Like that's pretty
Benny,
good.
It's a good team.
Hey Benny, Kenny sucks, and you know it. I know you like to be nice all the time. You're gonna interview Kenny later. Tell him Dan thinks he sucks the show.
Kenny, why are you there? Does Kenny know he's there?
Does Kenny know he's on the show?
Pam?
That's an excellent question.
It's not even all his fault. It's the producers
His sister forgot he was there.
What's that?
His sister forgot he was there. He forgot he was there. No one knows he's there.
I saw, and I don't think she meant it in that way, but yeah.
That's what I thought, Betty.
Yeah.
It was a funny line. Right. She didn't intend it to be funny, but it was really funny because I think from her, it wasn't meant as a joke. It was true. Like, I forget, and then I see him in the kitchen, and it's like, oh, right. My brother's here.
Here's the thing. Casey is technically a challenge champion, which I don't like calling her that. I think Tori should have won that season, but we don't have to go down that road again. And second, because she won, she's like the challenge darling. They let her bring anyone that she wants on. She should have brought someone different. I know it's her brother, but like Kenny's not built for this. He doesn't like
justice for Nam. I want
justice for Nam.
But
like if Kenny was like kind of a dick or something, or was like hooking up with a bunch of girls or whatever he wants to do on the show, like, but give us something. Kenny's just there. What does he bring?
Without a girlfriend.
I don't think you needs to be like, drama or like hooking up with girls, like, because Casey, she's not drama. She's all about, the challenges. And someone did say this, like, you do need a good mix. You need a good mix of like someone who's going to be like a shit starter. And you need someone who's going to be, just all about the challenges, all about competing. And that's Casey. And so
Nelson too.
Nelson too, yeah.
Well, Nelson brings it all, but he loves himself some competition.
But what I guess, Benny, my only question for you is, what does Kenny bring? What does he bring? Because even tonight he's like, this is the most I've worked out my entire life when he's carrying some weights around. It's like, well, he didn't bring that to the challenge either. So like, what does he bring? That's all I
think he is just one of the few, because I feel like we've seen this before in past seasons where we've seen new rookies come on. And, it's their first season. They don't know really what to do. This is brand new to them. And I think this is how Kenny is feeling. I think if Kenny was asked back for another season, I think we would see a different side of him because he would be used to things and he would get the hang of things. So I think that's what it is. He's just brand new. He doesn't know how to act. He doesn't know what to expect. And then also, he's never done a reality TV show before. I think he's the only one that's never done a reality TV show before. All the other rookies have done reality
Mariah. TV. Well, she's an influencer, but it said she's a TV rookie.
Right.
He is just a normal man.
Yeah, he's just like a guy. Well, that's the thing. I wonder if he had submitted, if Casey didn't exist and he just submits himself on to the challenge, does he make it here?
Yeah, he would never do that. But wait, guys, we have to talk about two major things about the twist. What did you think about Fessy and Mariah's interaction as they're picking the teams? Let's start with that, and then I have another question.
My answer is, as I mentioned briefly, Fessy's still a dick. That's the circled back to, he's been nice, he's been crying, he's been decent to his partner this time, he wants to play differently, until he's on his own and has to make hard decisions and be a nice guy or a shit, and he's a shit. Again.
See, I like that she stood up for herself. It reminded me of like when you were trying to trade baseball cards in the 90s with your buddy. You're like, I'll give you this Ken Griffey Jr. for this. And like you could never agree on it. So that was kind of fun. But I thought that's where they were going to pick the teams. That was kind of a wasted scene if they're just going to go out to schoolyard style and do it. Schoolyard. Like, why? Just because she puts Jordan here doesn't mean that he just can't take Jordan if he wins the coin flip first.
It's a dry run. It was there like.
It was I just, again, this is why hour-and-a-half episodes don't need to exist. We can do this in an hour, guys, and get me on with my day.
My bottom line is Fessy expects a lot from people and doesn't give that back. And I'm really mad that Nelson saved him. And I wish he would give Nelson a little fucking respect and at least pick him before Bananas. Like, poor Nelson's sweet little face.
I mean, in Fessy's defense, he still was able to get both players somehow.
He was, but
I don't know how he pulled off two dudes in a row, but whatever.
He was, but I just think it's insulting for someone that literally just saved your ass to pick yes, Bananas as a champion that you're preaching this sort of loyalty to and trying to repair your friendship. I know it's not the smartest game move, but again, that's why I think he's a dick. It's like at the end of the day, he wants his cake and eat it too. It's like,
yes, that's what. Okay, good thing you brought that up, because
double standards.
I think it's so, yes, it's funny that he almost has like a victim complex, and I wonder if he's playing that card purposely or if it's subconscious, because they start to pick their chess pieces and Mariah's like, okay, I know you want Casey, so okay, Kenny's on my team. Right. And well, I kind of want Jordan, so you get Aneesa. And then Fessy's like, okay, well, I'm taking Nelson and Jordan. And Mariah's like, hell no. But then Fessy tries to manipulate her by saying, well, what do you mean? You just came straight out the gate with like the craziest move. You came in with the hottest move right away. And it was like, what? Giving you who you want? Giving you Casey? You got the person you want. So it's very weird that he tries to play this like, no, I'm not getting what I want out of this.
All the time.
Because say this was Bananas and Nani who won this challenge. I guarantee you they would have helped each other out and they would have figured out a way to make things even, because Bananas wants Nani to win this final. And then I'm pretty sure Nani would want Bananas to win the final if she can't win it. And I guarantee you they would have figured out a way. Hey, you get this rookie, I'll get this rookie. You get this vet, I'll get this vet.
It's a give and take. It's a give and take. And as soon the second Fessy felt like he gave one thing, Jordan, it was like, then I get to take everything else I want. And it's like
5-to-1 ratio. Yeah.
Right. A give and take is back and forth consistently. So like, if you want Bananas, great, give me Nelson. If you want, like, it's not like then I get every other male.
I know, that's why his manipulation is so funny. Like, I'm wondering, does he really think that this is going to work for him? The tactics he's using to try to get what he wants, you know? Like, did he think he could just overpower her?
It's not a well-rounded team either,
I have to duck out before I get arrested and kicked out of my hotel.
Oh my God, that is so
I love you guys. I'm going to sign off. I'm glad
you're
great seeing you.
I'm going to listen to this so I can hear the Tori Jordan conversation.
Oh my God, I wish you were going to be here. Go on your phone. Go in the hallway and go on your phone.
Team all of them is my stance. Team Nerys Jordan.
Okay.
No, I want you to be involved. Join us again from your phone.
If you want to go to the lobby, Pam, just hop back on. I'll let you in, but either way. All right.
Okay, bye.
See you guys. Don't know.
Bye.
For those who don't know, Pam is in a hotel room that she was supposed to check out like 2 hours ago, and they keep knocking on the door. Yeah.
Where is she?
She's in LA for work right now.
Oh, nice.
Let me break down to you both the order of how they picked, because I'm telling you, there's a conspiracy here, and I think it's a big one. All right. Okay. So Fessy gets to pick a girl first. He goes Casey. Then Mariah picks a boy, Jordan. Then it's Fessy's turn, so he picks a boy. He picks Bananas. Then it's up to Mariah, and she has to pick a girl now because she just picked Jordan. So she picks Amber. Then it's back to Fessy, and he just picked Bananas. But instead of having to pick a girl now, he picks Nelson, which is a double boy pick and makes no sense. Then it goes back to her. She just picked Amber, so now she picks Horatio. So that's a guy. Then it goes back, and there's only Tori and Devin left. So then he gets the girl. But he got two double dude picks. It makes zero sense. They messed up somehow, or I'm losing my mind.
Or is it because it's uneven? No, it would be even.
It doesn't. You just go
because it's guy girl.
Guy girl. He got two double dude picks in a row, and that's how he.
Because they have to do it like a snake draft. You know, like if you're.
Well, it's not it's with two people. You can't have a snake draft. It is a snake draft, just automatically.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Huh.
Well,
or do you think producers just want
the drama
this season?
See, so Benny, mark the tape right here. Benny's in on the conspiracy. He just said he was. There it is.
You know, like he had that whole little scene of, you know, him saying, you know, I've been so close, but I never make it, and second place is always losing, and
Yeah,
so
drama.
You know.
Yeah. So my second question of this whole part of the show is, what did you think about Mariah picking Jordan first instead of Bananas, who she's hooking up with? Because they obviously kind of try to say, oh my gosh, big move. So what was your feeling?
Smart. Because Bananas he's not taking this game seriously this season. Jordan is. And Jordan, isn't he the only player who has won 2 back-to-back seasons? The only guy player, I think.
Well, I mean, Jarrell won 4 in a row back in the day.
Oh, well, never mind. Well, I know he's won 2 back-to-back seasons. You know, people call him the GOAT. You know, that was smart, and he takes this game seriously, like I said.
Even if Bananas is taking this game seriously, I'm still taking Jordan. This dude is nonstop. He doesn't give up until literally his body would fall apart. I love the guy. I think he's a top 3, if not one of the best male competitors to be on this show.
You're so right. And, you know, often they say in sports, skill is obviously so important, but what's better than skill is passion and your resiliency and your determination. That sometimes, you know, coach will say, I'll take the person who's maybe a little bit lower tier in skill if they're going to play like 150% with the heart, you know? And it's not even that Jordan is lower skill set, because honestly, looking at them right now as they are, I think Jordan is in a lot better shape than Bananas currently.
Yeah.
So I love that Mariah took that move, but I couldn't believe that there was, yes, they're hooking up, but for some of the reactions to be like, oh my God, I can't believe she did that. Like, that's her man. It's like, please, they've been on the show for a few weeks now. They just met. I love that she did not let the outside voices get in her head and have her emotions sway her. I'm so happy that she did like the smart.
Let's be real, Mariah, too. You think Bananas isn't going to hook up with you just because you didn't pick him first? Like, come on. She's still going to be fine. She'll still got be in the
that.
game.
Yeah. You're still going home to it. Yeah, that's funny.
All right, I think it's time we break down the Tori and Jordan stuff. Yeah?
Boy, yeah. How do we want to start?
As we mentioned before, they were wrestling. And by the way, did you see when they wrestled? She flung him on his head, back of his head pretty good in that little... I was like, oh, damn, okay. So the wrestling thing happens. That's our setup to say, oh, there's still something going on here. Then they show the Nurys stuff as well. And then the next shot they show is that sky view of Nurys and Jordan eating some type of food. I don't know what they're eating. And they're cuddling and they're looking pretty cozy on that little couch. And I guess Tori sees it and goes outside.
Yeah, and the thing is, wow, there's a lot to unpack here, because in previous episodes, as Tori mentions on this episode, they've been laying in bed naked together. They've been saying, I love you together.
Yeah.
They've been what probably to Tori's interpretation is rekindling what was once an engagement. These were people who were going to be married, spending the rest of their life together. It's actually really well handled by Tori to just leave the room. Like, if she wanted to, she probably could have been like, what the going on here? What are you guys doing? And go like reality TV on their asses and like kind of point and yell in their face and say, he's in bed with me 2 nights ago and now he's grabbing her ass in front of me as they're cuddling together on this couch. Like, she could have definitely had something to say right then and there, but she left the room. So I thought that that was actually a good job by her, because she knows at the end of the day, I guess they're not back together. They're still technically on paper single. So she just removed herself.
Yeah, I see both sides to it. You know, on one side, like you said, I agree with you with the Tori situation, but on Jordan's side also, you know, they aren't together. Jordan is allowed to, you know, talk to other women. And at the same time, he did have to go through seeing Tori cuddle with, you know, other people. Was it Fessy during the previous season?
And we'll talk about, I don't know what, okay, well, we'll get into that, I guess, Benny. Jordan says when they're in the bunk bed scene, he's like, how does it feel having to watch me cuddle with someone else? In like referencing that she did that to him. Who was that, Jenna? Was it Fessy? Who was she cuddling with that he had to watch her cuddle with somebody on reality TV? I don't know who it was though.
It because I thought her and Fessy had something, but did they show that though? I don't know.
And are we is that what he's alluding to when he says that line? Because it sounded like he was alluding to the fact that she's also done this to him already. And it's like, hey, how does it feel?
Right.
I was like,
it's really tough. That's the thing, is we're outsiders. It's tough for any of us to know what they're referencing for sure. You know, like we can theorize and interpret it. My interpretation was also Fessy, but also I thought that was after they lived in a house together and that wasn't in front of Jordan. I don't think, you know, from our understanding, what we know about what happened is that it wasn't done in front of him, and that it was done after they left a show and went on a vacation together. So at least it isn't like outwardly in your face, and also not while you're also sleeping in bed with me. You know, I think that there's like nuances and it gets blurry, but at the same time, we don't know everything that happened in their relationship. And that kind
of, I mean, she immediately says like, I've already apologized for that. So she's admitting that whatever he's referring to is something factual. It's not like he's just making stuff up to prove to make his case better. Like he's saying somewhat factual evidence. She literally says, I already apologized for that. I'm like, okay. And then what's the next line after that, Jenna? I know we had just rewatched before the show started.
So before it started, I was talking with Dan. I was like, I need to go back and rewatch this because I know my feeling, and my feeling is that Jordan left a really bad taste in my mouth. That sounds bad. Whatever. He left me just feeling really kind of disgruntled about the situation. I was like, damn, Jordan, like that's wrong of you. Like you took it to a level you didn't have to say that. And what it is that he's basically, Tori calls him out for certain things that I agree with from her perspective, that he shouldn't be crossing the line with another girl if he is saying I love you to her and laying in bed naked to her. Because again, you are people that were about to get married, but we're not seeing the conversations that maybe they're clearly drawing the lines of like, no, but we're still single. We're still single.
And I wish they showed us that. I wish they would have showed
that, because of course I'm going to empathize more with the person that probably is hopeful that they're going to get back together with somebody. And then they realize that they're kind of getting two-timed, you know, in front of their face. But what pissed me off so much is that he's basically saying like, if Tori's upset, then you have to be upset. And if she's angry, then you have to be angry. I don't want to be in Tori's world anymore. And it kind of just felt like that's really cold and mean. And it makes me wonder if maybe you were a really bad fiance and boyfriend, because you do have to be there for your person if they're upset. Like that's the whole point of being in the relationship. And if you're going to get married to somebody, you know, you have to be there for them when they're going through something. But also what she's mad at is the fact that you are telling her you love her and then hooking up with someone else. Like that has merit. That is a justified reason to be mad at you. So don't try to manipulate it as if she's like mad at you for like sharing a drink with a girl or something so stupid.
Didn't she also say, you said you wanted to work on this when we left here, or you wanted to try to, like, I think she said that to him as well. Like you said you wanted to try to start things up again when the show's over. So, and like, I know they're laying naked in bed together, which is like, that's kind of a close call because hookups could easily happen when you're both naked, but, or at least one person's naked. Have they actually kissed and stuff? They haven't shown us any of that on TV. They easily have cameras in there, night vision. They could show some smooching sounds and have the subtitles up.
Did they show a peck? Did they show a peck? I feel like they showed a peck.
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think so. But again, so like, how justified is Tori if they haven't even, like, I know they're naked in bed is a huge thing. I agree. But have they even hooked up or kissed or even like, even a makeout session would, to me, it's like, okay, you're making out with her and she's your ex. You need to talk to her before you go move on to Nerys. But I don't know. Have they even kissed? It's like Pam said before she left. Like Pam said before she left, she's like, I love both sides. Like I'm on both sides. I kind of am too. Like I like both people and I feel bad for both people and what they're going through. I don't really have a side in this case, technically.
Well, you said something very important. You said, I don't know if Jordan talked to her about this. I think that if he didn't, I feel like Jordan should have brought it up to Tori since they do have such a deep history. Like, hey,
what Jordan did say, Benny, is like, but nothing's happening with Nerys. We're just cuddling, which I don't believe. I think they're making out as well. But he's throwing it like, he's like, talk to you about what? We're just cuddling. So like, that's his kind of out. That's what he's going for, Benny. But I hear what you're saying too, where he could have just like, I might be interested in, like, what does he say? Like, hey, I might be interested in hooking up with Nerys. I just wanted to let you know as an ex-partner, like they're not together.
Or just said like, hey, I think we need to like slow it down with the, you know, cuddling naked in bed and doing all this stuff because I don't want feelings to get hurt. You know, I feel like we've been growing since I came back into this house and I want to continue our, you know, relationship and build it as a strong friendship. And I think that's how he should have went about it.
Yeah. I think there's something so different than if you're doing that with two other people in the house and you're single. You know, let's say it was like Fessy has done, right? Fessy does it with Michelle and Annalise and Colleen. He's hooking up with everybody. But it's like, whatever when it's someone like Fessy. But if you were in a relationship with someone and you're going back to an ex and then doing that, that hurts. That cuts a lot deeper than.
And like, they show them wrestling tonight, but like that footage could have been taken from like the first week when they got back in the house. And now they're using it 2 months later as if this all happened in this episode. And that's why she's so upset. Like, I wonder. Benny's wondering too, but Benny's wondering too. He's like,
I mean, basically, I just didn't like Jordan's reaction. If you're single, you're single, and everybody, of course, is defensive and, is going to yell back at somebody. But I don't know. I just felt like he did not take enough of an understanding approach.
He also said that in a confessional, though, Jenna. He didn't say that to her, did he? He said a lot of the stuff in a confessional, like Tori.
He said a lot of it in the confessional. It just felt wrong. It just was like, ouch, like that felt low, like a low blow. To say I have to be in her world. Feels like, but the problem that she's upset about is like you made it that she's upset, and you can't really manipulate it into like, oh, I have to be in her world. I don't know. It just made me feel like maybe that's why it didn't work out, because we're not gonna try to help her through her times. You know
what I thought was a low blow? When Amber B, and this is why people might not like Amber B. Just saying.
I like Amber. I don't.
But Benny, I'm not saying. Hold on, I like her and then I don't like her, but. When Tori removes herself from the situation outside and she's talking to Devin, Amber B comes on outside and she's like, hey, just so you know, they're still in there cuddling. Amber B, shh, what are you doing? The girl's hurting. Like, come on. Could that be a reason why people don't like Amber? Benny, not a bad comment, right? That's a pretty good point. Yeah.
Gosh, I think she meant it in a good way. Like, she's trying to help, another girl out.
By letting her know they're still in there cuddly,
like, hey,
cuddly
I
close.
just want you to know, blah, blah, your man's hooking up with this girl. I don't think she was doing it to, piss her off or get Tori upset.
No, but I just think it's like, Amber B, keep that to yourself. Like, you don't need it. She already knows that they're in there getting close. That was my thought.
She's the type of person where, like, she does something, but then you think about your actions afterwards, you're like, oh wow, maybe I shouldn't have done that, because I do that sometimes.
Yeah,
we all do, of course. Yeah,
I still love Amber B. I mean, that's very low level shit talking. Like, she didn't really do anything that was
no, I know she didn't. I don't think she meant anything by it, but that's my point. Like, think before you speak. Like, that she doesn't need to hear that. She already knows. And by the way, people called us out in the chat last week, or in the comment section. They said they're still calling her Amber B. I'm like, well, that was her name on her original season, because there was Amber M was there. So if anyone wants to know why,
they should have brought her back too. Amber M was good. She was good too.
You like Amber M?
I was over Amber M.
Amber M wasn't a good competitor, so I didn't like her.
She would always whine about going into elimination and having.
Yeah, it's like you didn't earn anything. Like you go in there, yeah.
It's a game show. It's your first season. Like, what the fuck did you think you were signing up for? But anyway, yeah, I think Amber B was more so actually maybe trying to vent about how awkward it was, because I think it is awkward when two people are like all over each other in front of you and you don't really know them yet. And yeah, I think she came out and she said that made me uncomfortable. I need to just step away for a second.
All right. Do we have any other thoughts on this episode? Oh, I wanted to bring this up. So now that they're in teams, how is this going to work? This is a big question. Okay. They got the two teams. There they are. All 10 of them or whatever. There's probably more of them. They're all on their teams. Now they have to, one team is going to lose the daily challenge. And then I assume that the losing team is going to have to pick one person or two people. And then, like, how is that going to affect the ride or die on the other side? Because at the end, if they want to go into a finale and bring the ride or dies to put them back together, do they make the ride or dies go out against each other in the zone? Like, how is it going to work from the losing of the challenge? They nominate two people from their own team or one from each team. I don't know how it's going to work. I thought I wanted to get your thoughts on that, because I can't figure it out.
I definitely think it's going to be, one team from one person from each team going against each other. I think that, because that's
but they got to keep it even, right? They can't have, I don't know. I don't want it to be like there's 3 people left on the Emerald team like there was 1 year ago, and there's like 18 people. Remember, that was weird, even though I think the Emerald team was a strong team, but there was like such a lopsided number of people on teams.
Because that's how they've always done it when it comes to teams. Like back in the day, there was always like, when they were doing like the badasses versus the good guys, like that challenge way back when. And I remember one of the teams had like a bunch of people, and then the other team had like 4 or 3 people.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting if they take it back like that. But
who goes into the zone? Do 2 people from the same losing team go into the zone, or is it 1 and 1? That's what I guess that's.
We don't know. I have no idea. And I kind of don't want to know. I want them to surprise us, and I want it to be good, obviously. But yeah. Benny, I think you're talking about the gauntlet, right?
I think. I just know it was like the good guys versus bad guys, I think. The badasses versus maybe it was rookies versus veterans. I can't remember. But it was one of those really old ones.
Yes, I think on a gauntlet they also did it so that the winning team has to pick that they have to pick someone from the losing team, and then I think they also vote in like, and then the losing team I think maybe has to vote in one of their
that's how there you go. That's what it's going to be then.
Awesome. And that causes a lot of drama and is interesting. I really want there to have to be some sort of voting system where they have to.
I think that's got to be it, Jenna. So the winning team gets to pick somebody, and the losing team votes one of their people in.
Right.
That would be good. Pick off the losing team members too quickly, and I don't want.
But not if they don't win. If they lose every week, it's going to suck for them.
Yeah.
But then but my point is then I guess I was hoping that the ride or dies would come back at some point. But if a ride or die gets eliminated, their ride or die that survived on the other team is never going to see them again. And therefore they can't be put back together for a final. It just doesn't work logistically. They can't just bring them in.
Maybe they'll have TJ pick.
Maybe TJ will just start sending home teams. You both didn't perform well. You're both ride or dies are going home. Okay, there is something weird where TJ says like, oh, these guys are coming in, and then they showed like silhouettes of people coming into the zone, but we don't know who they are.
I don't know if there's
people are going to come to compete.
I think it's just going to be a one-off, though.
Mercenaries.
It's like a mercenary situation, but that got me excited.
I said missionaries.
Did I too?
I corrected myself, but I did say missionaries first.
Did Jordan leave a bad taste in your mouth during the missionaries?
During the missionaries, right? Yes, it was during that moment. All good things. There you go. Wonderful.
Who would you like it to be?
Oh, I want it to be someone from All Stars. I want to see like an OG. Like I want to see Kendall on it. I love Kendall. I want to see her. I want to see her win one. That would be cool to like have her as a mercenary.
Is it Jenna? Is it Pam that doesn't like Kendall?
It is.
We need to put Benny and Pam in a room and have them talk about Kendall. It'd be good TV. I'm telling you, because she can't stand Kendall. I'm with you, Benny. I like Kendall. I actually like her, except for that one time where she was standing over glass or something and she didn't do the game properly or something. It was in a recent season. She did something that she wasn't. Yeah, I was trying to get away with that. But other than that, I like her. And I think she gets mistreated by cast members. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I do like her too, but Pam's point is that Kendall and Amber B are actually similar in personalities where a lot of other people in the house get easily annoyed by them. And I could see why. I mean, if you're living in a house with people are obviously going to get under your skin. And I think it's because like their niceness or their like la-di-da-ness, I don't know, just pisses off a certain other personality. Like there's a lot of very confrontational, blunt personalities in this house. And I think when you mix in the people who are more like passively nice, that's going to piss those people off for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see CT. Give me CT always.
I'm over CT.
Wow. There's so much controversy here.
Season. Like, don't get me wrong.
Finally dislike someone and it's CT?
Don't get me wrong. CT is a legend. He has earned his stripes. But I'm just so glad he's not on this season because I just want to see different people and I want to see different people win. I want to see different people make it to the final.
Did you try to get CT on your after show and he said no? What happened here? What's up with you and CT?
No, I like CT. Do not get me wrong. I love CT. I just want to see him skip like a final completely. Just one season so I can miss him, you know?
Hey, Benny, are you doing interviews with the cast this season?
No, I've done, if they hit me up, I've done one interview with Johnny.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Johnny, the guy that goes to my gym.
Johnny. Yeah.
You didn't bring up the fact that he goes to my gym on La Cienega? No?
Does he really?
Yeah. I should.
No way.
I wish I had known you were going to interview. I would have made you bring it up. Like, hey, so do you go to the gym on La Cienega at LA Fitness?
I would have so brought you up because he probably knows who you are.
Well, we've seen each other. I don't really say. I'm not going to be like, hey man, I do a show about the challenge. Like, I'm just not.
Why? Have him on your show.
I like being. I don't mind doing interviews with people, but I like to also be able to speak freely on like if I didn't like something they did, and I don't want to like hold back. That's my biggest thing with the interviews.
Yeah,
I feel like sometimes I have to hold back.
I'm starting to feel that way more and more too, where we used to have so many interviews and I loved doing them, but I also feel like, shit, I kind of have to put my foot in my mouth a lot because I've definitely talked some shit on here.
So Benny, I think the season before you joined us at AfterBuzz, Jenna, you were still there. We had Marie in for the first time that I'd been interviewed Marie.
Oh my gosh.
And then
I was there when Marie was
right. Yeah, you've done an interview with us and Marie. Yes, she was a little out there. I had said a lot of crap about her during the season. So when she came in, I was like, well, what am I going to do? Because we had her on for like the season finale, and I'd been talking crap like she'd not performed. It was a season she was with Cara, I think, as a partner. And so she came in and she said, oh, I know about you, Dan, as if she had heard that I had been talking smack. I said, well, I'm sorry, Marie. I don't think that you performed well during the season. And I said it to her live, and I couldn't, but I kind of held back because I really wanted to go in, but I was like, I'm sorry, but I feel you didn't perform very well this season. Like, that's all
I don't think that's bad, though. I think you're just being honest. You know, when people sign up.
But at the same time, a lot of these interviewers want to kind of like, oh, look, can we be friends after this and hang out? It's like, I just want to do an honest interview. It's hard to do that sometimes, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
The people on the show, though, I think are really good at receiving shit talk because they get so much of it in the house. And also think about the online trolls. They've probably seen the worst things about themselves that people have said. It's awful. Like, people go at people's like looks and what they wear and everything. They dog you for everything. So I'm sure they're used to it. And I'm not saying it doesn't hurt them. I know it does. But coming in to a show like ours, they can at least maybe do it like in person. And they probably might be interested in doing that, you know, because they're always getting it. For example, when we had Johnny Bananas on, I did not hold back at all in our interview with him. And I felt like he was really pretty good at taking it and talking about it. Like, we went back and forth and it didn't feel like awkward or tense or like, oh my God, we're fighting or we're going to get in a fight. Like, he is good at busting balls and he's pretty good at like receiving it. I mean, for the most part. And yeah, we just kind of went back and forth.
Oh, do you know who I would love to see be a mercenary?
Okay.
Freaking Pauly and Cara Maria. Oh my!
I would love it too, but that's not gonna happen.
Man, that would be.
If Pauly and Cara, say they both came through the door, one for the girl elimination, one for the guy elimination. Holy hell, it's not gonna happen.
Oh my God!
Well, did you see? I forgot her name, but she was on Instagram Live and she was talking about how I guess Pauly was supposed to come on this season. Who was, I think it was Nelson's partner. I'm forgetting her name.
Nerys.
Yeah, I want to say it was Nerys, and I think she said that Pauly was supposed to come on. It was either Pauly or Carmia, I can't remember. But then they all threatened to say like they wouldn't do the show or something like that. I could be wrong, but it was something along those lines because they were saying like they couldn't keep Pauly out of their mouths and blah blah blah. And so I just think that Pauly is great TV. The dude is great TV. Whether you agree with him or not, he's good TV. He knows how to stir the pot.
Yep.
You need to have somebody you love to hate, and we all love to hate him.
Yeah, you should do an interview with Pauly. You should get Pauly on your interview show and say, hey, what's the deal? Like, be honest with me, Pauly. Why is Cara not being called back? What is the business? Because obviously something's going on with her and the producers. Like, Benny, you should get that interview and ask those hard-hitting questions and figure it out with him.
So 2 years ago, I don't know if I told you this. It was like, I want to say it was 2 years ago. I had an interview with Pauly. And this was before I started doing the whole YouTube thing. Yeah. I was doing an Instagram Live. And I feel like back then Instagram Live wasn't that great. I don't know. I don't know. But I did on Instagram Live. For some reason, my sound didn't record. So the whole and it was a good interview.
Oh,
he talked about why he wasn't, being asked back. And it was just he didn't hold back. It wasn't like a sugar-coated interview.
How pissed were you that you lost all the audio?
I was so bummed.
Oh my God.
I was so bummed. And so I was actually supposed to have another interview with him and Cara. I think it was like 2 months later, but then we had to reschedule because of something. I forgot why, and then it never happened after that. So definitely want to interview him again because he's such a great interview, and he's outside. I'm talking about like Pauly in the real world.
Yeah.
He seems like a good guy. I don't know the guy personally, but he seems like a good guy. He seems.
I feel like Jenna has thoughts on that comment you just made, Benny.
I mean, good, quite possibly. Ridiculous, quite possibly. I mean, the stories, again, we might not know everything we think we know about these people's lives, but I just can never not go back to the story of him lying to Cara Maria about cheating. His out when he was on a vacation with his other girlfriend, when he was cheating on Cara, was that his family is in the mob because he's from New Jersey, and that his family had issues, and he really
I didn't even know about that.
Benny, he really needed to be there for his family who's in the mafia. Meanwhile, he was at like a couples therapy vacation with his other girlfriend. So
oh, wow.
I can't like
there's that. So many stories. I mean, Benny, ask Jenna about how she almost had dinner with Pauly and Cara.
Really?
So I'm from
okay,
New Jersey.
I need to know.
They're from New Jersey. I think I know where they're from. The brother who was on Big Brother actually played soccer with one of my good friends for a year at Monmouth. God, I'm being such a New Jersey person right now. We're just like talking about like shit because you know someone who knew someone who knew someone. Just like this is what we do. But I went to Cheesecake Factory in Freehold. Shout out if you're from New Jersey, Cheesecake Factory in Freehold. And we're sitting down and eating with my husband, and he loves the show too. Huge watcher. And he's like, oh my God, Pauly and Cara Maria are eating right behind you. They were like right behind my back. They were eating at the table behind me. Must have probably been with Pauly's family. And as we would be quiet and I could like listen in, I could tell that it was their voices. But I was not about to turn around and be like, hey guys.
I wish that your husband took a picture of you with their backs. Just, I'm taking a picture of my wife at the dinner, but like really you're just trying to get them in the background. That'd been sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you didn't say, but I think the end of that story is you didn't even say hi to them or anything. You didn't even acknowledge
No,
that
I didn't say shit. Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. I didn't really know. What would I say?
Again, exactly. But see, I've run into challenge people that I'm like not a huge fan of, or other reality. Remember that I ran into that person we covered the other show, that one of those X on the Beaches ones. But I didn't say anything to her. I forget the funny one from the last season.
Yeah, Scott, I can't remember.
Whatever her name is.
So awful, but she was great.
She was great.
I've only ran into one challenge person, and that was Kayla, and that was years ago. This was like, it was like, she had only done like 2 seasons probably. It's when she was living in Las Vegas, and I saw her at the gym, and I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be that guy that's like, you know, they're working out. Oh, hey, I'm a challenge.
And see, if I'm a huge fan of them, I gotta say something. If I watch them, but like when it's someone like Johnny at my gym, I'm like, well, I know more about the challenge than he does. I've been more involved with the show, so it's like hard for me to like, you know, it's same with like actors and celebrities too, or whatever you want. Like if it's someone from my childhood, yeah, but if it's someone younger than me, I feel like, why am I being a weirdo trying to talk to a 21-year-old guy that's on a TV show? It just feels weird to me. But yeah.
Good times. So funny that we've all had different challenge interactions in a way.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, any final thoughts? We good? We wrapped it up?
Yeah. Good show. Good episode.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I thought it was different, which I was saying, I think before you got on, Ben, I like that it was different than what they usually do.
Yeah. I wasn't mad that there wasn't
right.
Because I usually am if there isn't an elimination. But this one had enough stuff to keep me going until the next episode.
Yep, I agree. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us for whatever this episode was called. Split Decision. That's what it was called. And we'll see y'all next week for episode 10 of the challenge, Ride or Dies. For Benny and Jenna, I'm Dan. Peace.
Later, guys.
Later.